The topic is that we know there's a minute to eat milchiks on Shavuot.
He said cheesecake.
So we'll discuss what the reasons are and the difference between the reasons. So one of the reasons, the most famous reason that most people know of, is the one that Mishnah Baruch brings down, is that since it came time after Matan Torah, so we had all the mitzvahs. To go shecht an animal, to go kasher it, and to do everything to prepare it is very hard. So milchiks is much easier to eat. So therefore, after Matan Torah, they only ate milchiks. And this is right after Matan Torah. They ate only cholov. Basar was much harder to get a hold of. According to that reason, then you can just eat the piece of cheesecake. Makes no difference. Eat a piece of cheesecake, eat a bowl of cereal and milk in the morning if you want. Have a coffee. According to that reason, the main thing is to have milchiks. However you're going to eat the milchiks, it's fine, as long as you eat milchiks. But if that's the case, then we know some people that have a whole milchik Suda on Shavuot, and which is questionable, because you're supposed to have on Yom Tov, you're supposed to have basar, you're supposed to have meat on Yom Tov. Some people say if you have to have meat on Yom Tov, this minute to go ahead and have milchiks doesn't push away the din to have basar on Yom Tov. So I can go ahead and have a whole milchik Suda without any basar. But the reason the Ramah brings down is a different reason. This is the reason of the Mishnah Baruch brings down. The Ramah brings down a different reason. He says that you're supposed to have the same way by Pesach you have Shnei Tavshilim Zecher to the Chagiga. The same thing on Shavuot, you should have two breads, Beis Lechem, Zecher to the Shnei Lechem. On Shavuot they brought Shnei Lechem. It was only a carbon of chametz. It was Shnei Lechem they brought on Shavuot. The Shnei Lechem, to have a remez, the Shnei Lechem we have two breads on Shavuot. Now what does that mean? What it means is that if you wash and you have a bread that you're using for milchiks, we'll go into the details too, what the halacha is, but you're not allowed to use that same loaf of bread when you're having a fleishik suda. So if you're eating milchiks and you're eating fleishiks, you're going to have to put away the milchik of bread, bring out another bread for fleishiks, so then you'll have two breads by your suda. That's what the Ramah brings down. So Zecher Shnei Lechem. What?
We're supposed to do that, you said?
We'll see. Yeah, that's what the Ramah says. Zecher Shnei Lechem. Zecher Shnei Lechem means you have to have two breads.
Separate?
Now, separate. So if you're going to have a milchik Suda, right, at night, and the next day you're going to have fleishik Suda, there's no Shnei Lechem over here. The Beis Lechem means in the same Suda you should have two separate breads, one for milchiks, one for fleishiks, and that'll be a Zecher, the Shnei Lechem.
But no one does that.
Okay, so we'll get that also. But earlier at times, we can buy Shnei Tavshir Shaloichem B'Leil Pesach, Zecher LePesach, Zecher LeChagiga, Kein Oichle Michael Cholov, V'achar Kach Michael Basar, says the Ramah. You eat milchiks, and afterwards, right away, you eat fleishiks. Not the next day, right away. And the Tzrichem Lehevi Imam, Beis Lechem. You have to have two breads for it. Ala Shulchan, Shu B'Makom HaMizbeach, V'yesh B'zeh Zichroin, L'Beis HaLechem, Sheim HaKrivim, B'yoyim HaBikurim, that they would bring on Shavuos. That's the Ramah. So if you want to go according to the Ramah, you have to have milchiks, and then take away the milchik of bread, bring out fleishiks, have a new bread for fleishiks, and then you have Shnei Lechem.
You have lechem?
One for milchik, one for fleishiks.
You'll use one for the milk and one for the
Two breads for each one?
No, one for each. One for each. One for milchiks, one for fleishiks. But now, if you're eating milchiks and fleishiks, you automatically have to have two breads.
That means you have to bench milk.
No.
So that's the question. You have to bench between milchiks and fleishiks.
How do you wash?
You don't have to
wash on both breads.
I put one away? That's it?
You have the milk, then you have a break, then you have the fleishiks.
So you have to one is for fleishiks, one is for milchiks?
Yeah. So now, where does this come from? What does it mean two breads?
What's the source for
What's the source of two breads? So now, let's take a step back.
I mean, you could say Lechem Mishnah is two breads too. I mean, you could.
No, Shnei Lechem.
No, it doesn't have to necessarily be two separate meals. So where's the source for two separate meals out of it?
Because if you're eating milchiks and fleishiks, you're forced to have two separate breads. So we do something that makes us have two separate breads.
It's not talking about Lechem Mishnah now, right?
Not Lechem Mishnah.
So
nothing to do with Lechem. Lechem Mishnah we have is Eichel Amon.
So you have two separate bread for the milchik? You have to have a
you could use one. No, but for fleishiks, you don't have to have like a mission. You don't have to bench in between.
One for the milk.
Oh, you don't bench.
You don't have to bench in between. So what does it mean, two breads? So two breads means that when you have a milchig of bread, now this is halacha, which I'm trying not to go into it in depth because it'll take us a whole share, but we'll try to go into it a little bit. There's halacha if you're eating a milchig of bread, or you ate bread out of milchig of suda. You took a bread, and you have milchig on the table, parva bread, challah. You have challah. Let's go fleishig of suda. You eat a challah by fleishig of suda, and no one's careful if the hands of fleishig are touching the challah or not. The halacha is that challah you're not allowed to use for milchiks afterwards. You're not allowed to use that challah for milchiks. Why? Because you may have gotten it full of fleishiks, and then you can go eat it with milchiks. A lot of people have a minig that Sunday morning take the leftover challah and they make grilled cheese out of it, whatever it is. It's not so poshut. If you had that challah on the fleishik table when you're eating cholent or meat, then it's a problem. That bread itself, you're not allowed to go ahead and use for milchiks. You're not allowed to use it for milchiks because it could be fleishik bread. So what's the eitzah for that? The eitzah is very simple. After you finish the fish, you cover the challah, you take it away, and then you can use it for milchiks the next day. Before the meat comes onto the table, you go ahead and you take away the challah. And that's what should be done. Friday night, you have to do it earlier. When you bring out the chicken soup, you should make sure the challah is covered. Now, there is a kula that let's say you didn't slice up the whole challah. You have the challah in the middle, you took a few slices, and you left the rest of the challah in the middle. Some people say that no one touches that challah, their hands, only the balabais, that's what we cut it up. Therefore, the cut slices maybe you shouldn't eat with milchiks. But the big piece that's left over in the middle, maybe you could eat with milchiks. Some people have such a kula. But the best thing is, before you bring out soup or you bring out fleishiks, you make sure either it's covered. The problem with getting rid of the bread and taking it away, no one's allowed to eat bread anymore, you have a different issue. And the issue with that is that when you wash and you eat a whole suda, you don't make a bracha on everything during the suda. What's the reason for that? Because everything is a tuffle to the bread. Now, if you wash
and the bread is on the table,
it's fine. If you make sure no bread anymore, because we don't want bread to become fleishiks, and no one's allowed to have bread anymore, so something called shilik atzmai min hapas. You took yourself away from the bread. You're not eating bread anymore. Once you stop eating bread, you can't say the rest of the suda is a tuffle to the bread. So
not only that, some people eat the kazayas during the meal. They don't eat the kazayas at the beginning. That's okay if you have a kazayas sometime during the meal.
Yes, because you want the meal to be a tuffle.
And you got to be careful.
No, time frame. You have to finish the kazayas within 5 or 6 minutes.
Right.
So a lot of people in the beginning have a small piece, and during the meal with the fish or the soup, they have it during kazayas then. So that's not. You take it out, then it's not there.
Yeah, right.
That's the problem.
I remember there was a certain house I was eating by, and they had Pesach. People are machman gebracht. Some people. You don't eat gebracht on Pesach. So this person, he would have matzah on the table. They would wash, eat the matzah, and then he was so choshesh for gebracht that after that, no one's like any matzah, no more matzah anymore. Now eat the rest of the suda. I said to the person, okay, so now but now you got to make a bracha on everything. Yeah. Now you got to make a bracha on everything else because you still got some in the past. So you have to be careful. So you're going to go ahead and take the challah off the table, and no one's allowed to eat the challah anymore. You have to make sure you're not being still got in the past. For us in the house, what we do is after the fish, we take the challah, we wrap it up in a silver, and then once more you can take. But we know that it's separate.
But the issue is still with the hands touching the challah.
Right. So
even to wrap it up.
No, but then if you wrap it up, why is it wrapped up? So be careful. So remember to make sure your hands are clean before you cut another piece of challah.
So you're not supposed to have bread on the table when you mention.
You have to have bread on the table when you mention.
So you can take it away.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. I'm saying you shouldn't take it away. Wrap it up and leave it there. Leave it on the table.
It could be on the side.
It could be on the side. Right. If someone has the bread on the side of the table,
it's okay.
Yeah, it's also okay. You have to make sure that it's not there together with the meat. If you have pieces of bread on the table, someone takes a piece of bread, this guy's not going to eat it. It's lying in the middle of the table. Easily a piece of meat can fall on it, takes it or puts it on his plate, especially if you have kids in the house. You're not guaranteed for anything. So then the challah could be fleishiks. So therefore, in halacha says the bread that you have by milchik suda, you're not allowed to have it by fleishik suda. The bread that you have by fleishik suda, you're not allowed to use it for a milchik suda. So therefore, if someone has a milchik in the suda, and then he's going to change over to fleishiks in the same suda, he's going to start eating fleishiks. So halacha is you have to get rid of the bread and bring in a new bread with fleishiks. So that's what the Ramah is saying over here.
And when you have milchus and you're going to have fleishiks afterwards, you have to rinse your mouth?
You have to rinse your mouth, yeah. You have to rinse your mouth. Sometimes you have to wait a little bit. So that's what the Ramah, that's the minig of the Ramah. The most of the minig is to have two breads. Now if someone's going to have milchik suda at night and a fleishik suda by day, according to the Ramah, it's nothing. You're going to have the minig of eating milchiks. Because the minig of eating milchiks, whatever it is, but by night or by day, whenever it is, the minig of eating milchiks, according to the Ramah, is in order to have two separate breads.
No one does that.
Oh, I won't say nobody, but it's not common. It's not common. A lot of people.
You go home and tell your wife?
No, but there are a lot of people who are still makbid that they'll have kiddush milchiks, and then they'll eat fleishiks for the suda.
But according to Ramah, that doesn't count.
Yeah, so they try to be carrying the Ramah. It's in the same suda. It's in the same suda, milchiks for kiddush, and then have. That's in order to be carrying the Ramah.
That's the worst you do.
I've heard people that do that. They'll eat a milchik suda, and then take away the bread and bring out fleishiks. Some people do that. Yeah, they wait 10 minutes, 15 minutes.
Cheesecake and everything?
Cheesecake and everything.
They change the tablecloth, all the cutlery.
Yeah, they gotta change everything. They gotta change the cutlery. They gotta change everything. And I'll bring out.
Some people eat in different rooms. Like you eat in the kitchen, you have one suda, and then you go into the diner for the
second. Another suda. Yeah, especially if you change the place of the suda, you have to wash again.
If you have in mind, if you tell everybody you have in mind.
Yeah, if everybody has in mind, then you move over, middle. It gets complicated that way, but that's what the Ramah says. So according to the Ramah, the way the Ramah says it, the right way to do it is to make sure you have milchiks and fleishiks in the same exact suda. So most of the world does not do that. No.
A lot of Lithuanians only had milchik over Shavuot. They never had any fleishik. It was only milchik.
What on Shavuot? Yeah.
Only milk.
Oh, the whole Yom Tov.
The whole Yom Tov.
The whole Yom
I know
Tov.
people like that. They only have milk.
Yeah, but that's not according to halacha.
But the problem with that is, the problem with that is,
you're missing the mitzvah Yom Tov.
Is that Simchas Yom Tov has to be basar v'yayin.
Yeah. Does that count for every
fish doesn't count?
Every meal.
Aren't there sheets of fish?
And dogim also, but not basar.
No, basar and dogim.
Yeah, so and halacha says if you don't like basar, you can be able to with dogim.
Yeah, so that works that way. Yeah.
But if someone likes basar, and he's not eating because they're minig to eat milchiks, then you run into the issue that
so if you have milchiks with your fish, you're fine.
Yeah.
A lot of people have. I have blintzes and fish.
Yeah, and then you have fleishiks afterwards. That's the best thing.
But then you have to have two breads anyway.
Yeah, then you have to have two breads. If you have the same bread, if you're having cheese by the table with the challah, you got to take off that challah before you have the fleishiks.
You have fish. Fish isn't fleishiks.
No, he says you had cheese.
Yeah, but if you
have blintzes and you have fish, you need two challahs or one challah.
No, one. No, cheese is.
But you still, I thought the purpose was to have sheilechem.
Right. Well, no, he's saying here that if you have it, you eat fleishiks afterwards.
No, I'm bypassing the buster. I'm bypassing the buster.
Oh,
I'm having dugim instead of my buster.
And then what?
And milchiks.
No, they don't compensate anything.
Why not? You said I can have dug instead of buster. I can have fish.
No, but you only two breads then.
So big.
That's what he's asking.
So I have to have two separate meals specifically.
Yeah, you have to have milchiks and
You have to
fleishiks.
be in a situation that you have to have cheese.
Yeah, you not eat cheese and fish together.
I hear.
You have to put yourself in the situation where you're mechuyev to have two separate sudas.
It's not just that you do it, like Eddie Shabbos.
Right.
You have to be in a situation that
that's the minig. The minig is to eat milchiks together with fleishiks. Right, to justify having two breads. That's what the Ramah says. That's what the Ramah says. It's interesting, most of the world...
Can be happy about it?
The truth is, most of the world does not go with the Ramah.
Yeah.
Most of the world does not have in the same suda milchiks and fleishiks.
My kids don't want to clean the table for me. That's the real
That's
question. It's not going to happen.
So most people don't have it. Most people have a milchik suda. A milchik suda in itself, some people say shouldn't do it because you have to have basar. There are a lot of people that are makel today, especially today. A lot of people like milchiks better than fleishiks, and they enjoy it more. So maybe there's more in the yontiv with milchiks than fleishiks. A lot of people are having the 9 days. My kids can't wait for the 9 days.
Really?
There's no meat, no chicken. We have to have milchiks. They're much more excited with milchiks. So if some person want to say that since today people don't enjoy meat is not a delicacy, maybe even milchiks.
Maybe during the 9 days you give them meat.
My kids are very happy nowadays. No showers and no meat. Very happy, right?
There's also a lot of ice cream parties in the afternoon. So if you have meat for your afternoon meal, it becomes a problem for the kids in terms of those ice cream block parties and things like that.
On Shavuot. Yeah.
In the afternoon, they're supposed to have.
Yeah, I think there are a lot of people that are makel and they give coolers why to have a milk gesuda, 100%. But that's not the Ramah. A milk gesuda is not the Ramah. A milk gesuda could be the reason of the Mishnah Berurah. But he says after Matan Torah, meat wasn't as available because after Shech, until they cashed it, took time, they ate milk.
Would it be better to have a milchus meal on the second days because the first day is dicker?
Maybe. Now I'll give you another reason why we eat milchus. This reason is brought down from the Kotzker. Very interesting reason. The Kotzker says like this. It says the Gemara in Bechayris, Navavim with Beis, says that has a shiloh. Why is milk from a non-kosher animal also? Maybe you should be able to drink the milk from a non-kosher animal. The Gemara says, what do you mean? It's a treif animal. So the Gemara says, and from a kosher animal, why are you allowed to drink milk from a kosher animal? No, it's not that maybe it's treif. Are you allowed to eat an animal when it's alive?
No.
Even Menachai. Says the Gemara, how can you drink the milk from a kosher animal? Now the animal is also to eat it. What's the difference between a kosher animal before you shechted it or a non-kosher animal? Both of them you're not allowed to eat. So the Gemara says, there's nothing that comes from a live animal. The Shai Rechmana, Torah says it's mutter, it's Eivim Menachai. V'hai Chalav, ki Eivim Menachayu. Milk is like Eivim Menachai. V'shari. Now Torah says it's mutter. So Hilkach, maybe I feel Behemoth Tmeya. That I drink the milk from Behemoth Tmeya. What's the difference between a kosher animal and a non-kosher animal? They're both Chalav, milk coming out of something you're not allowed to eat. That's what the Gemara asks. The Gemara says. And the Gemara says at the end, so Lamaisa, why are you allowed to drink milk? How can you drink milk? It comes from an animal you're not allowed to eat. It's even Menachai. So the Gemara says, it's Xeris HaKosef. What's Xeris HaKosef? It says in the Pasuk, Eretz Zavas Chalav Udvash, V'i Loi, the Shari, if not for the fact that it's mutter, Mishtabech Lo Nekra B'midid Loi Chazi, Hashem will say, oh, I'm giving you Eretz Zavas Chalav Udvash, and you can't even drink the milk. So of course it's mutter. Of course you're allowed to drink milk. That's how we know you're allowed to drink milk.
From what type of animal?
Kosher animal. So the
why?
So the one has a meat. How we know why not a non-kosher animal? One is a pasuk. Hagomol, extra word hagomol. You want to start off saying that you're not allowed to eat a gomol. It says hagomol, extra hay. What it needed for, the more says that say you can't drink the milk of the animal. Well, what do you need a pasuk for? Of course you can. It comes from a treif animal. So the Gemara says you would think you could because of the cholav. So by a non-kosher animal, you have a pasuk telling me you're not allowed to drink the milk of a non-kosher animal. A kosher animal, I need a pasuk to tell me you're allowed to drink the milk of a kosher animal. What's the pasuk? Eretz Zavas Chalav Udvash. The Torah says you're allowed to drink the milk of a kosher animal.
Can you drink the milk of a kosher animal that's actually treif?
No, an animal that's treif. If you know it's treif, and you milk the animal, you're not allowed to drink the milk of that animal.
If it's a limping animal or it's missing a leg? If a cow is missing a leg?
It depends where it's missing its leg. How high it is. What?
The deformality is...
that's a big question of how we drink milk to today's animals. Maybe they're treifus. We once spoke about it in one of the shiurim. That if you shecht an animal, you find it's a treif, so the milk that was milked from it was not kosher animal. It's a treif animal. So how do we drink the milk? How do we know that it's not a treif?
Don't you go to a roiv?
You go to the roiv, you have a chazaka. Spoke about this once. You go roiv, you have a chazaka. The question is today, most animals that are shecht aren't kosher.
Anyway.
So you don't have the roiv. What happened to the roiv? So we spoke about it once. Maybe a different time. We'll go through it again. But a chalav of a kosher animal, why are you allowed to drink it? Eretz Zavas Chalav Udvash. Says the Kotzker. So what happened before Matan Torah? Before we had the pasuk of Eretz Zavas Chalav Udvash, Hashem gave us a Torah and says you're allowed to drink milk. Because there's a kosef Eretz Zavas Chalav Udvash. How about before that? Before we got the Torah, Ben Noach, right? Avram Avinu, was he allowed to drink milk?
He didn't eat meat.
He ate.
You say he didn't eat meat?
Before Noach, they didn't eat meat.
No, after was mutter. Yeah.
We went to check the three.
Yeah. So, but was the farmer being allowed to drink milk? Says the Kotzker, no. Because before we get to Torah, it's Eivim Ben Achai. Ben Noach is not allowed to eat Eivim Ben Achai.
So what did he eat? He had vegetables? Was it vegetarian?
We'll see what he ate. We'll see if he ate.
Did he prepare something with butter?
Yeah, we'll get to that. We'll get to that in a second. Yeah. We'll get to everything in a second. But Eretz was called the Vash. Hashem gave us the Torah. Now the Torah says you're allowed to drink milk. The Mashal before that, you're not allowed to drink milk. As long as there's a kosov. So it says the Kotzker. So before Matan Torah, we were not allowed to drink milk. Hashem gave us the Torah. Now we're allowed to drink milk. That's where the minute comes from to eat milchiks and Shavuos. Because till now we weren't allowed to eat milchiks. And now we're allowed to eat milchiks.
The first time we're having it, right?
It's the first time we're allowed to have it. That's what the Kotzker says. Right? A new reason why we eat milchiks and Shavuos. The obvious question
but
is...
according to that,
only one meal
that means the whole Yom Tov was supposed to be eating milchiks.
Only milchiks, yeah.
Yeah, so there goes that.
Yeah, okay. According to that reason, it's chalav. You don't have to have basar of chalav in the same suda. You don't have to have it. Only chalav. Yeah, it's a celebration of chalav. Celebration of chalav. It's interesting. The Mishnah brings down there's a minig to eat chalav, and there's also a minig to eat dvash, honey. He brings down a reason because Torah nimshla the dvash. According to this Kotzker, I have another reason why it's a minig to eat dvash. What?
But the dvash that they're talking about in the Torah is not the same dvash, not honey.
Okay, we'll get that. Okay, good. Why are we allowed to eat honey today? Where does honey come from?
Also bees, the shaila.
Honey comes from bees. Bees is a sheretz.
Right. You're not allowed to
How are you allowed to eat honey?
It doesn't come from bees, it comes from nectar.
Bees make the nectar.
They collect
They
the nectar.
regurgitate. They regurgitate.
Yeah, they regurgitate. So how do you eat honey?
From the body.
It is not.
Yes, it does. They regurgitate.
Yeah.
No way.
It goes through the body.
It rubs on their feet.
No, it goes through the body.
No way.
Yeah.
Their body.
They process it.
They process it in the body. It comes through the body and then it becomes honey. Check it out.
Okay, Doc. Here we go.
He's a doctor.
Wait a minute. Let me see that.
So, the Gemara asked the question. The Gemara, the next blot, in Bukhari asked that question. How do we eat honey? Honey comes from a bee, and a bee is a non-kosher animal.
Yeah, the answer this last time. What was that? Okay.
So the answer is, one of the answers is there's a kosef. The Gemara brings a pasuk. The Gemara brings a pasuk how we know that you're allowed to eat honey. That eretz that was called with vash. That's vash is vash tomorrow. It's from dates.
Right.
How is bee honey any different than milk in terms of being ever min achai? If you define milk as
that's the exact question.
No, milk comes from a kosher animal, and the Torah says you're allowed to drink it. Ever min achai, there's kosher you're allowed to drink it. Honey, you're not allowed to eat a treif animal. So the Gemara says two pshatim. One pshat the Gemara says is that when the honey goes through the body, it doesn't really become part of the body like the milk. It just passes through the body. And therefore you're allowed to eat the honey. It's not processed like the milk. The milk, the body changes it, and therefore it becomes milk. Therefore, you can't eat it.
The body processes.
Right, but honey is not that way. One pshat in the Gemara. The Gemara says if that's the case, then you should be able to eat honey from other. The Gemara says seirium, different types of bees, which we're not allowed to eat the honey from it. The truth is the machlokes. The Gemara comes out that one of the pshatim is they're allowed to eat honey because of Xeris HaKosef. The pasuk brings down. The Gemara brings down an extra pasuk that says Sheretz oif yat oichel aval at oichel masha oif tamei mashrit. You're not allowed to eat sheretz oif, but you're allowed to eat what an oif tamei gives out, which is the honey of a bee. That's what the Gemara says. Xeris HaKosef, you're allowed to eat the honey of a bee. If that's the case, it's Xeris HaKosef why you're allowed to eat the honey of a bee. So now we understand the meaning why we eat honey of Shavuos also. The same thing the Kotzker said on milk, that we eat milk on Shavuos. Why? Because milk,
after Matan
Torah we got the heter, so the same thing should be by honey. After Matan Torah we got a heter to eat honey.
So we should take it out of Rosh Hashanah.
So Mr. Baruch brings down that they eat honey. He means a different reason why. So according to the Kotzker, there's another reason why we could eat honey. But the question here is that if who's it bringing down from? Gam legem k'tas mekaymis brings it from the cowboy.
You eat honey?
No. He brings it from the cowboy. Okay, I think it'll be another interesting shot why we drash. But the question here is, if you're going to say that milk was usher before Matan Torah, and with Matan Torah we're mutter to drink milk, so the Avraham Avinu was not allowed to drink milk. Right? And it says
butter.
That he gave chemo, v'chalav, he gave it to the malachim. How was he allowed to do that?
Well, he didn't eat it.
He didn't eat it, so he gave it to them to eat.
That's true.
Yeah, you can check the animal, but how can you drink the milk?
Not too many Jews in those days.
No, but there's a halacha.
Yeah, Avraham after Noach, he allowed to eat meat. Yeah.
He's in law. He's a thing.
So how is Avraham Avinu allowed to give milk to the malachim? How is he allowed to do that?
He said they were going.
They're not Jews.
So the Bnei Noach.
Right.
Bnei Noach was Evim min achai.
There you go.
Bnei Noach also Evim min achai.
Maybe
How did Avraham Avinu give them milk? That's the question. Bnei Noach was talking. We found it. And it says.
Yeah, what you said.
Have a honey spot.
I missed that class in science.
You got to calm Rebbe.
A couple of years too late.
What's that?
You got to calm Rebbe down.
So how did Avraham Avinu give milk to the malachim? How do you do it? It's also to eat. Even Ben Noach is also to eat it. So I'm going to say an answer.
You won't like it, but
No, you like it. You don't like it, but it's a little complicated.
oh gosh.
It's a little complicated. And the answer is like this. The answer is like this. We just said now that milk is Evim min achai. That's why you can't drink the milk without the Zeres HaChosed. It's Evim min achai. Now, Evim min achai is an issue. You not take a hand of an animal and eat it. Same way you can't take the hand of an animal and eat it. You can't take the milk from an animal and eat it because Evim min achai. There's lots of riots. I'm not going to go through the riots now. That when the Gemara says that milk is also because of Evim min achai, it doesn't mean that it's Evim min achai. It's like taking a hand and eating it. It's something called Yoitza min achai. Yoitza min achai means extractions from something now that eat. Now, if you have and the Gemara speaks about, if you have a Talmudic animal, right, the Meir Aglayim, any excrement from an animal, why can't you eat it? Let's say it would be edible. Why can't you eat it? Because the Yoitza, it comes out, it's produced from something you're not allowed to eat. Anything that's produced from something you're not allowed to eat, you're not allowed to eat. Now, milk could be also for two reasons. One reason milk could be also is because it is like Evim min achai. It's like taking the hand and eating the hand. It's an aver. Another shot could be no, milk is not an aver. Milk is also because it's yotzim min hachai. It's produced from something you're not allowed to eat. Now, a ben noach is not allowed to eat Evim min hachai. Is he allowed to eat yotzim min hachai? Yotzim min hachai is something that's produced from a non-kosher, something you're not allowed to eat. That's Zeres HaChosed. Before Mount Torah, something that's produced from something you're not allowed to eat, who says you can't eat it? Who says you're not allowed to eat it? So Ben Noach really could have drank milk if they wanted, according to this. If you hold that milk is yotzim min achai. If it's Evim min achai, they can't. But yotzim min achai, then they could. So now, Avraham Avinu gave them malachim, chema v'cholav, they're allowed to eat it. So then what happened to the kotzka? We can also have drinking milk before Matan Torah. It's only yotzim min achai. The answer is no. Avraham Avinu kept kol Torah kula. Avraham Avinu kept all the mitzvahs. Says the Beis Yosef, he was allowed to keep all the mitzvahs, l'chumrah. Anything that's a kula, he's not allowed to keep. Because there's no right to be makel against it. The Torah wasn't given to him yet. He can't keep the kulas. So Avraham Avinu had a chumrah. Anything that's a kula. Any kulas that come after the Torah, we're not allowed to keep.
Like, why not? Yeah.
Because he wasn't given the Torah. You want to be machmir and keep the mitzvah of the Torah, you could. But something that's a kula, you have no right to go take a kula which is not given to you yet. So, if you hold the yotzim min achai, then Avraham Avinu may have kept the chumras of the Torah, that anything that's yotzim min achai is not allowed to eat. So therefore Avraham Avinu didn't drink milk. He gave it to the malachim, they didn't keep the Torah. They were allowed to eat yotzim min achai. B'shas Matan Torah, when we got to Heter, that even though it's yotzim min achai, you're allowed to drink it because Eretz Zohar is chol v'dvash. So now we're allowed to drink milk. But till then we weren't allowed to drink milk, even according to Avraham Avinu.
So honey would have been prohibited to him as well, then, based on that.
Correct. Honey would also be, because it's yotzim min sheret. It would also been awesome. That's that pshat. Now I'm going to tell you another pshat, and why maybe we eat milchiks, but this is going to be a pshat, why you have to have milchiks and fleishiks in the same suda. You heard this from me once. What's another reason why we eat milchiks on Shavuot, but milchiks and fleishiks together? We know that the halacha says, if you eat milchiks, you're allowed to eat fleishiks afterwards. If you eat fleishiks, you're not allowed to eat milchiks afterwards. The reason is, the Chokes and the Rishonim, either because meat is coming up, or because some pieces will get stuck between your teeth. Two reasons in the Rishonim. Why, if you eat meat, you can't eat milk afterwards. But if you drink milk, you eat milchiks, you're allowed to eat meat afterwards.
Why are we worried about milk is getting stuck in your teeth?
Because there's no strings to it. Meat is stringy.
Fibers.
No, and if you have some stuff, you get stuck in your teeth. Pizza gets stuck in your teeth.
The cheese?
Sure.
The bread gets stuck in your teeth. The cheese?
The cheese gets stuck in your teeth.
Cheese doesn't get stuck in your teeth, yeah?
You don't get cheese and put pizza in your mouth?
Maybe the problem is the hard cheese, right?
Yeah, the hard cheese, some of them machen hard cheese. Okay, well that's what the Rishonim say. That's what the Rishonim say.
Also, the time that it stays in your mouth. The meat stays much longer than.
The taste of meat stays in your mouth longer than cheese. Fine. That's what says in halacha. Now the Yid HaKadosh was a famous. Yeah, he was a famous Hasidic Rebbe.
What's the name?
The Yid HaKadosh.
The Yid HaKadosh.
Yeah, it's called the Yid HaKadosh.
The Jew, holy Jew.
The holy Jew. He says like this. He says that milk is midas hachesed. Why is milk midas hachesed? Because milk comes from an animal. Animal's still alive. You take out the milk. You have to kill an animal to drink milk. It's midas hachesed. Meat is midas hadin, because you have to kill an animal to eat meat. Midas hadin. It says like this. There's a sugya in the Gemara that's called tatoi govar and eloi govar. I'll explain to you what that means. What it means is if you have two hot things, and one of them is aser, it gives out its taste into the thing next to it, because it's hot. If it's cold, it can't give out its taste into the next thing. Hot thing gives out its taste. A cold thing not. How about if I have one hot thing and one cold thing lying on top of each other? What's the halacha? Is it considered hot? Is it considered cold? Some machlokes in the Gemara. Do we say tatoi govar, the one that's on bottom, is stronger and then overpowers what's on top of it, and the one on top is considered hot? Or do we say eloi govar, the one that's on top, if it's hot, then both of them are considered hot? It's a machlokes in the Gemara. Tatoi govar or eloi govar. That's a machlokes.
That's one.
What?
What the word?
Tatar means the bottom one. Govar is stronger. Ilo, the top one. Govar is stronger. Just look in the Gemara in Psachim. We pass in Tatar Govar. We hold that the bottom one is stronger. Says the Yid HaKadosh like this: if you eat milchiks and then you eat fleishiks, so what happens? First comes in the milchiks, and then comes the fleishiks. What's on bottom?
Milchiks.
The milchiks. What's milchiks? Chesed. Tatoi govar. The chesed overpowers the din, that's fine. But if you eat fleishiks first, and then you eat milchiks, so what happens?
You have din first.
You have din on the bottom, and you have chesed on top. Tatoi govar. The din overpowers the chesed. That we can't do. We have to make sure the chesed overpowers the din. That's what he says. It says in Medrash, and I'll finish it, second. It says in Medrash, Moshe Rabbeinu, the Malach came to Hashem and says, Tanoid Chal Shemayim. Leave the Torah in Shemayim. Don't give it don't put it down on earth. Hashem says, 1 second, you by Avraham Avinu, and you ate milk and meat. How could you get the Torah? You ate basar v'chalav. So therefore you can't get the Torah. All the Achronim ask, what do you mean? They ate milchiks, and then they ate fleishiks. What's wrong with that? They had chema, and then afterwards they had meat. So that's fine. What's wrong with that? So the Torah says the Yid HaKadosh, that it depends. They had milk and then they had meat. What were they saying? Keep the Torah in Shemayim. What does it mean in Shemayim? Why? Eloi govar. The top is stronger. If the top is stronger and you ate milchiks and then fleishiks, you did something wrong. Because you ate milchiks and then fleishiks, the top is stronger, so the din is gover on the chesed. So that is called Eloi govar. You want to keep it in Shemayim. No, the Torah has to go down tachtoinim. Why? Tachtoinim govar. The tatoi govar. The bottom is stronger. If the bottom is stronger, then what you did was okay. You ate milchiks and then fleishiks. Tatoi govar. So how are we zoichet get the Torah? because the Malachim ate milchiks and not fleishiks, and the Torah Govar. We had to prove to him that the bottom is stronger, therefore we got the Torah. So this could be the minute why we eat milchiks and fleishiks together. How are we zeicher to get the Torah? Because we had time to Malachim. Had you eat milchiks and not fleishiks, it should have been the opposite way around. The fact that they ate milchiks and not fleishiks was why we were zeicher to get the Torah. So maybe that's why we eat milchiks and fleishiks in the same Suda. First milchiks and then fleishiks to show Torah Govar. That shows that the Tachtainim are better in this world. Another pshat, there could be so many reasons said why we eat milchiks and Shavuos. You have two more reasons to say. One is the Kotzk was a little easier, and one is the Yiddah Kodesh. If anyone can repeat it, it's also a very interesting reason. So the Lamaisa, Allah, Lamaisa, we should eat milchiks, and if someone could do like the Ramah and have milchiks and fleishiks in the same Suda, most people don't have that many.